Hi there, it is Sandra with Brew City Thrifts. Today I am in Menomonee Falls at the Goodwill. This is a Goodwill that seems to have a lot more contemporary items than vintage, but you never know. Also, I am going to be working really hard on my camera work in this video. I've heard from some viewers that my fishbowl approach to videoing isn't so pleasant, and so even though I'm always working to be inobtrusive in a Goodwill and to not interfere with other people's shopping experience, so it's hard to get the space for a good panorama of things in Goodwill. I'll be doing my best to take a step back and make sure that you can see the items and it's a comfortable experience for you. So let's hit it. I start out in the picture aisle and I notice a Pilsner beer sign up there in the corner. It's too far for me to reach. I'm going to have to put the camera down to take it out. So here's the Pilsner mirror sign, and it is vintage, I believe. It has signs of age. The price tag there on the bottom, though, I have to turn it right side up. Wow, $24.99. When I checked it on eBay, that's really pretty much market price, and that's not something I can do, but it's a cool sign. I continue down the picture aisle and I notice a cross stitch there. It looks like a vintage one. And as I move forward, I notice more cross stitch here. There is a cardinal, and as I pick it up, I grab two frames. They're kind of one on top of the other. There's the cardinal bird, $2.99, definitely vintage. And then underneath it is an Oriole. Again, probably $2.99. I didn't see a price tag. Those, I think, I don't usually pick them up, but they're nice enough. I decide I'm going to take a chance on those. Also in the picture aisle, I noticed this very pretty picture of a basket of flowers. It's from the back, and that label, it does look to be vintage. It is embossed metal, possibly copper, but the metal seems to have almost a tri-gold appearance. It's got some variations in color, and I just think it's really pretty. And while I was picking that up, I noticed behind it, this cross stitch is also vintage. In fact, it was made in 1978 by Rose and Marie, and it's sweet, and so I put it in my cart to think about, but I do end up putting it back. Here I notice this old print that is it looks to have a lot of age, and this is a piece of what I thought might be copper, hammered copper. Turned it over and it's quite contemporary. It's still a nice piece, but I pass on that. Oh, and here's the matching older line drawing, engraving. The frame itself looks quite old. The picture looks quite old. Kind of a charming set. Not something I felt like I needed to pick up since I was already getting those cross stitches. Sorry about the vacuuming. In this area with kitchen goods, I notice, hey, there it is again, Blue Garland by Johann Haviland. This, you might know, is my china. And boy, I feel like I've been running into it everywhere lately. I decided to pick up that sugar bowl. I believe I already have the creamer, and I might already have the sugar bowl too, but it doesn't hurt for $3.99 to check it out. I grabbed this cocktail shaker because my son's developing an interest in cocktails, and he's been doing some bartending. So I thought if I could find the cap there, I might give that to him. I noticed this very pretty hand-painted plate. It happens to be Copeland by Spode, and it's I think it's called Single Dahlia. And although Spode makes really pretty things, I don't think they tend to draw too big of a price on eBay. Oops, there's another more blue garland. So I left the Spode behind, and then I pulled out this piece of what I believe is Jeanette glass, possibly the Windsor diamond pattern. I've picked up this tray before and gifted it to a friend, and I just think it's really pretty, so I grabbed it again. I do like that pattern. This very pretty ceramic cookie jar or jar, it's a holiday theme. It's a little bit newer than I think the design makes you think. And this heavy crock, I couldn't quite make out the label on it. It seemed to say something to table, but I'm not familiar with the brand, and I could not read the first word on it. I do like the design, and it's quite heavy. It's a piece of stoneware, and looking back, gee, maybe I should have picked it up for myself, but I did leave that behind. And then I spy that piece of milk glass bakeware, and I pull it out, turn it over. I knew it wasn't Pyrex, but I wasn't sure what it was. It had an S, so I'm thinking it might be Sears bakeware. It had to go back on the shelf because the gold was too worn. And then I picked up this piece of dragonware, this dragonware sugar. It definitely seems to have some age, but it is a promotional piece for, of all places, for a piece of dragonware. It's a promotional for the Black Hills of South Dakota, so I put it back on the shelf. And I spot another piece of pink glass. This definitely seems to be Depression era glass. It's got the etching and the color of Depression era glass, and it's a really pretty piece. I put it in my cart, and I later checked for chips and cracks, and unfortunately there were a number of chips around the edges and around the rim, so I did end up putting that piece back. Pick up this mug, and it is definitely vintage. It's a Hallmark mug. It's got a sweet little graphic on it of chipmunks or mouse, and it says Home Sweet Home. I really liked it, but when I check the comps, it's really not going for very much, and I have so many mugs, I ended up putting it back. Here in the glassware aisle, I noticed these Bailey's tumblers. They are the ones that have a bubble in the bottom, and I like I like tumblers of this size, so I picked those up. I actually have a pair already listed, but I like them, and I think they do pretty well on eBay. My rule of thumb has been, because I don't know a lot about barware or glassware, to just pick up things that I like and I recognize. And I don't drink a ton, but I do like a little Bailey's Irish cream liqueur once in a while, so those went in my cart. When I'm in the glasses area, I am typically looking for things that catch my eye that are a little different. I am always searching for hand-blown Mexican glass, recycled glass. I love those big Mexican margarita glasses, if I can find them. This glass had a pretty pattern, and I liked the color on that. When I'm looking at the shot glasses, I am usually looking for ceramic shot glasses, particularly limoncello shot glasses. The ones that are made by Deruta for limoncello are very good pickups, and I've sold quite a few of those. So that's what you see me checking for here. And there's Ralphie. You'll shoot your eye out. A Christmas Story is one of my favorite holiday movies, so I popped that in the cart, but I did put it back on the shelf. Here in the tchotchke aisle, the thing that catches my eye first is this handmade wooden heart-shaped bank. I just love things made out of wood, and the grain on this is really beautiful. With a little TLC, I think it would really shine up beautifully. And so for $2.99, even though it didn't have its stopper, I decided I was going to take that with me. I take a look at this little enamel dish, but there's some chipping on it, and I didn't think the quality was that great. Then I noticed this pink stone liddage trinket box. It has a lovely butterfly and flower design on the top. It's made out of stone, which I really love. It's a beautiful, beautiful pink stone. And so that is definitely going to come with me. And then right next to it, I see this hinged Winnie the Pooh trinket box, this tiny little heart-shaped Winnie the Pooh. It would be so great for Valentine's Day, both of them. So those both go in my cart. Oh yeah, and I had picked up a blue garland butter dish right there. Awesome. I muted the sound in this clip because of some very loud and annoying squeaking. But I was looking at this ceramic bowl, shell bowl, when I noticed below it this amazing, beautiful blue and white urn, which I almost break. But I mean, it was $20, yes, but look how old it was. It was definitely ancient, and it had a lot of crazing. It was substantial. It was something wonderful, and I don't know why I didn't take it with me. I thought it was too big. I don't know, but I'm really mad at myself now. I really like the lines of this candlestick, the mid-century look of it. It has a frosted glass base and a metal top. And of course the wood is so warm against those two cool elements. And I really like it, but there was just one. And so I moved on. I'm scanning here for metal wall art. Vintage metal wall art is really what I'm looking for. Moving over to the clocks area. And then of all the clocks, the one that really catches my eye is this ceramic Ray-Dun clock. It's something I put in my cart, but when I check it on eBay, it goes for only about $12 to $15, and I seem to have a hard time moving Ray-Dun lately, so I put it back on the shelf. I was given permission to look through some of the carts, and while doing so, I found this really pretty piece of handmade pottery. It's got a very interesting design, and it is signed, so I decided that I'm going to take that one with me. In the wood aisle, I notice quickly this dice or die, the singular. It's got inlay. It's definitely a sort of a hobbyist piece, a folk art piece. It's kind of primitive looking. There's some really big not scratches, but the wood grain is not smoothed around. It's pretty rough all the way around. But look at that piece of wood. That is gorgeous. I'm thinking that it's burlwood or maybe even bird's eye maple, and I think it would look beautiful on someone's bookshelf, so I take that with me. I really love boxes like these. I use them in so many different ways. I just love them for organizing and for storage and for even for displaying other things. So I put those in my cart, but I ended up putting them on the bottom of my cart, and guess what? When I checked out, I totally forgot about them. So, boo. I don't have them. I left them at Goodwill. I thought you might like to get a look at this find. It's an Abraham Lincoln bobblehead. I think that's Abraham Lincoln, who happens to have a hockey player on his shirt. So I don't really know what's going on, but it's just one of the wonderful things you can find at Goodwill. Here among the vases, I spy this art glass red bell pepper. It's got kind of a variegated glass coloring, and I'm scanning for other vases while I'm kind of holding it in my hand and feeling it for chips. I like this orange glass vase too, but I decide that I decide to put this in my cart. No chips. It's pretty. I did put it back though in the end. I didn't think it would move too quickly. And this was something that I picked up because I just didn't know what it was at first. It turns out it's one of those Speak No Evil monkeys made out of metal. I feel like there's something vaguely inappropriate about that door swinging open. But anyway, I left it behind. Well, that was fun. I had a good time. I really did try to slow it down and work on my camera work and my approach. And I think that I did better, although I see what I'm doing sometimes. I'm showing you one thing and then my eye catches something else and I zoom off before I've given you enough time for some perspective and stepped back enough to give you a really full view. So I'll keep working on it and let me know what you think. Did I get any better? I'm hoping I did. So I did put quite a few things back. Nothing that I got was anything that really rocks my world, but I have a couple nice pieces. I'm thinking those needlepoint birds could do okay. I'm thinking that wooden die might be interesting. And so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thanks for shopping with me again. Whether or not you find a great treasure, whether or not you find something that rocks your world, it's still a lot of fun to see what's out there. Find the really unusual things like that Lincoln bobblehead. I don't know, the things that are out there. So come back and shop with me again. Thrift on siblings. We will do this again soon. Take care.